store, you have a war, you're going to have to pay a 200% tariff to do business in the United States. And they both say, the leaders would say to me almost simultaneously, we've decided to make peace. I stopped so many wars. They went to Viktor Orban, the fake news. They went to Viktor Orban and they said, why is the world such a mess right now? It's flaming up in the Middle East, in Israel, and what's happened with Russia, Ukraine. Why is it? They said, you need Trump back in. He said, nobody understood Trump. China was afraid of him. Russia was afraid of him. You know, I stopped the Nord Stream pipeline, Nord Stream 2. And then they say I was very friendly with Russia. I got along good with sort of everybody, but everybody paid up. They had to pay up. We changed so many trade deals. It was so bad. USMCA, we made that one. That was a great one from the worst trade deal we ever had. NAFTA, the worst trade deal any country probably has ever had. But we did a really good job. But JD, we're very proud of him. And he made a speech this morning, and I heard it was great. And I think you will agree, Ron, he's doing a fantastic job. As Vice President Harris cast the tie-breaking votes that caused the worst inflation in American history, costing a typical family $28,000. Think of that. Yesterday it was announced that we lost 438,000 full-time jobs in August. We lost 400, almost 500,000 jobs in August. We lost 24,000 manufacturing jobs, nearly 6,000 auto manufacturing jobs. And if I'm not elected, you will not have an auto industry at all. Volvo today announced they're getting away from the electric. Other companies announced we have paid trillions of dollars in subsidy for making these cars. And the market's not there. It's not there. It's a shame. And I'm a big fan of electric cars. I think it's great, but it's got a market. But I also want gasoline-powered cars, and I want hybrids. I want everything. Hydrogen is maybe coming. We want everything. The real unemployment rate rose to 7.9% in August. Did you know that? 7.9%. Our country's going down. Last month alone, American-born workers lost 1.3 million jobs, and migrants gained 635,000 jobs in a single month. Every job that we've gained has been replaced, not by American citizens, but by illegal migrants. Did you know that? Every job that was created over the last fairly short period of time, and the Hispanic population are being decimated by these people coming in unchecked, unbalanced. They're coming in and they're taking the black population and the Hispanic population jobs. And next is going to be unions. You watch the unions suffer. The auto workers are not going to exist in a year and a half or 2 years because of what that fool did. Who's the head of the auto workers? He's a fool. Since the start of this year, nearly 1 million Americans joined the unemployment rolls. Nobody knows that. And now Kamala is pushing the largest individual small business tax in American history. And she said 70 to 80% tax is probably a good idea, a bold idea that should be discussed. 80%. Good luck with your small business. She and Sleepy Joe Biden waged war on American energy, opened up the Russian pipeline, Nord Stream 2, after I had closed it. It was done. It was closed. As soon as he came in, he approved it. But he shut down the Keystone XL pipeline, Keystone. He shut it down, 48,000 jobs, and it was a very important pipeline, actually, but we'll get it open. But think of it. I shut down the biggest pipeline in the world, the Russian pipeline going to Germany and all over Europe. I shut it down. It was done. He gets in. He approved it. He approved it. But he shuts down the pipeline in this country, the XL pipeline. She re-entered the horribly unfair to the United States Paris Climate Accord. It sounds so nice, the Paris Climate Accord. Such a nice name. Oh, isn't that beautiful? We want the Wisconsin Accord. We want the people of Wisconsin, not the people of Paris. That Paris Accord was going to cost us $1 trillion, and other countries like China, it was considered third world. China, it's a developing nation. They didn't have to pay anything. India didn't have to pay anything. Russia didn't have to pay anything. France didn't have to pay anything. Nobody had to pay, only the stupid United States. We paid $1 trillion. And I closed it down, and as soon as he got back up, he opened it at even worse terms. Kamala Harris and the communist left have unleashed a brutal plague of bloodshed, crime, chaos, misery, and death upon our land, and it's only going to get worse as
the former president to take the stage in just a few moments. We have gotten confirmation now that he is waiting to hear him officially speak.
We're joining forces to defeat government corruption, restore free speech, and make America healthy again. We're going to make America healthy again, you know? We're a nation that is not doing well in a lot of ways, and we're not doing so well with health, but we're going to solve a lot of those problems, I think, over the next short period of time. A lot of that's common sense, too. It's all common sense when you get right down to it, but we're going to get toxic chemicals out of our environment, and we're going to get them out of our food supply. We're going to get them out of our bodies. We'll get them out of our body, right? Right? With victory this fall, we will enact this pro-family agenda, and we will bring back the American dream, bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. They never talk about the American dream.
Yes.
They never mention it. They don't talk about the American flag. By the way, the American flag, we got some of the greatest congressmen warriors here that you have anywhere. And congressmen go to Congress soon, like immediately, but soon. We should give a 1-year sentence in jail to anybody that burns the American flag. Mike, do it, Mike. Right? Do it. That looks so bad at the Democrat National. I always call it Democrat. You know, they want it to be called Democratic. I said, then change your name. They don't change their name. Sounds worse, so I use it. But at the Democrat National Convention, I watch those American flags burning all over the place. I think it's a disgrace. And they said it's unconstitutional to stop it. Like hell it is, okay? Like hell. It's not unconstitutional. It's like when I stopped the riots in Washington. They were taking down statues. They were having a lot of fun. They didn't know what they were doing, having a lot of fun. And I pulled out an old law from 1907, because we don't pass laws like that are tough. And it said, if you touch a monument, if you touch it, even touch it against the will of authority, if you take it down, but if you even touch it, you go to jail for 10 years. And there's no 9 years and 5 months, it's 10 years. And so I signed it, I took it out, it was dusty. It was old and dusty. Hadn't been used in 78 years, I think they said. And I signed it, I announced it. And I watched about 10,000 asses. I could watch from the back as they left town. They were all gone. I knew there was a problem when they started ripping down a statue of Abraham Lincoln. I said, they're going to take down the statue of Lincoln? I don't think so. We're not going to let that happen. And we've got to be tough, because if you see what's happening in Aurora, Colorado today, did you see that? Where Venezuelan gang members have taken over parts of the city. They've taken over apartment houses because these stupid people that we have leading our country are allowing these people, these criminals, to come into our country, and we're going to get them the hell out of here. And this is just the beginning. Wait till you see what happens.
Double tap that screen, guys. Show me some love, man. The Cash App is pinned. I'm giving y'all some great content. The Cash App is pinned. That helps the channel grow. Show me some love. If you down with Trump, you rock with Trump, you already know what it is. Let's go. The Cash App is pinned. It don't matter what you're saying, just send something.
The size of these crowds, you know, you could fill this place up 3 times. Why didn't you get a larger arena? Somebody said as we were riding by, oh, it's too bad the arena hasn't started filling up. I said, no, you don't understand. It's totally full, but the line goes back for miles. It's already full. But we got to do that, fellas, you know? We got to do it. Because I've been saying for a long time, I said, these people are coming in from prisons and jails. Nobody listened to me. They're murderers. They're drug dealers. If you take a look at Venezuela as an example, their crime is down 72%. Because they've taken their criminals from Caracas, they've taken their drug dealers, they're emptying their prisons into our country. Their crime is down all over the world. Crime is down. In the Congo, in Africa, 22 people deposited into our country. Where do you come from? The Congo. We're in the Congo jail. What did you do? We will not say that. You can imagine. Listen, they come from Africa. They come from the Middle East, countries that are not friends of ours. And they're coming by the millions, And these fools, Kamala, Lisa Mark says, these fools are letting them come into our country, destroy our country. And I said, you know, did you ever see that? I don't want to brag, but they do have a big selling hat. You know what it says? Trump was right about everything, right? Front row Joes. Front row Joes. Right? No, but it's... Hey, look, if I ran one of those countries, I would be doing better than them at getting the people out. You run a country... The country's inundated with really tough people that are criminals. I want to get them the hell out. If I was the head of a country, the president of a country, if I was in charge of anything having to do with the country, I would have moved them out even faster than they're doing. They are moving people into our country at numbers that nobody's ever seen. And those countries are becoming safe countries. And wait till you see what's going to happen. You know, they're just getting acclimated. You know what that means, acclimated. They're getting used to a society that really goes too far. And the only thing they go after is guys like Trump because he protests an election. That's the only thing they're good at going after. They don't go after criminals. They don't go after people that kill people. They don't go after drug dealers that kill on average 500 people during their lifetime. So a drug dealer kills 500 people, and the only thing they would understand would be the death penalty. If you had the death penalty for drug dealers, you wouldn't have any more drugs. You wouldn't have any more drugs. Instead, we form blue ribbon committees made up of our great First Lady and lots of people like Steve Witkoff, great developer in New York. But they don't do this for a living. The only thing they understand, I went to China, I saw President Xi, had a good relationship until COVID came in, then I broke it off. That was too much. But I said to him, and I had a great relationship with him, and I will again probably. But I said, do you have a drug problem? 1.4 billion people. No, we have no drug problem. Why don't you have a drug problem? Because we have the death penalty, he said, for drug dealers. If they sell drugs, they die, he said. So those people that sell drugs, they said, you know, let's go to another country. This is a little bit tough. But they do in many other countries. In countries where you have that, you don't have a drug problem. And we are becoming a drug-infested nation, whether you like it or not. We're becoming a drug-infested nation. So we better get our act together. You know, years ago, centuries ago, China was taken over numerous times by smaller nations, much smaller nations, because they were all drugged out from the opium fields and all of that. And then one of their very powerful leaders said no more, and they ended it. And we're going to have to end it too, because we're really a country that we're a failing nation in a lot of ways. What they've done to our country is incredible. What is Kamala, who's a total lightweight. Did you see her on television last night? This is going to be the president. This is going to be the president of our country? I don't think so. Sitting propped up in a desk with this guy, this Tampon Tim. And the it's the first interview she's done, and like nobody's ever seen anything like it. And if you're too weak to do a one-on-one interview with a person that was so soft, you know, I know Dana, she's always, you know, always nasty. She was so nice to the Democrats. It's much easier to be a Democrat, but we don't agree with their policies because their policies will destroy our nation. So we can't do that. We can't do that. But it was a very weak interview from the standpoint of CNN. I think CNN should be ashamed of themselves. If that were me, sir, I heard you want the death penalty for drug dealers. Why? Well, you know, I'd like to end the drug epidemic, if that's okay. Remember this, and I said it. Every drug dealer, on average, kills 500 people. That's not mentioning all of the families that are destroyed forever. They're destroyed forever. And we have to do something about it because we are becoming, and we are, a drug-infested nation. We have to do something. And if you did that meaningfully, you will, in 1 week, stop the drug problem. Nobody's going to be selling drugs. Nobody. I don't know if the country's ready for it, but they should. You know, we lost, they give you fake numbers, the real numbers. We lost probably 350,000 people last year to drugs, to fentanyl and other drugs. I had a deal with President Xi who was going to put that on their ultimate crime list. That's where they give the death penalty. If they make it in China, they sell it here. He was going to give the death penalty. When we had a rigged election, what happened is when I left, they never picked it up. Biden never picked it up, so they never did it. But they were going to give the death penalty, which is their ultimate punishment. You can't get too much more ultimate than that. They were going to give the death penalty to the fentanyl makers in China if they make it and sell it in here. And they were going to do it because, you know, otherwise we weren't going to do trades. Little things like, we won't trade with you anymore. We won't pay you billions of dollars anymore. So easy. So easy. But people like Kamala, she let San Francisco die. She destroyed probably the greatest city, maybe one of the greatest cities, but could be. A friend of mine, Bob Tisch, used to say years ago, he said San Francisco is the greatest city in America. That was probably 1670. He passed away, great guy, he passed away, but he used to talk about San Francisco all the time. Today, you can't walk into San Francisco. She destroyed it. She destroyed it. She's the one that started it too. She was the district attorney. Then she destroyed California along with Gavin Newsom. You know that? One of the truly bad governors. But the fake news is doing everything possible, everything they can to help.
And how are the numbers looking? We're landing at a strong 70. Ooh, SPF.
Kamala Harris, do you ever notice nobody knows what her last name is? I go, okay, I'm going to give you the first name, tell me the last name. I say, Kamala. They have no idea who the hell she is. But as they find out, you notice our poll numbers are starting to skyrocket. When they find out that she's a Marxist, when they find out her father, you know, is a Marxist professor, you know that. When they find out that she was the one that destroyed California and San Francisco a long time ago, you can't have this. Look, we have to put our country back into shape. Somebody said, women don't like Donald Trump. I said, I think that's wrong. I think they love me. I love them. I love them. Speaking of them, North Carolina, these women, this is number 227 rally. And they've been to some other than rallies. 220. They're wealthy as hell. Look at them. They've got nothing but cash. Their husbands are great. But they allow them to go all over the country. They follow me all over the country. We have front row Joes over here. We got the women from North Carolina. Look at them. I know, but they're great patriots. They're great patriots. And, you know, I spoke to the husbands one time. I say, how do you put up with this? Your wives are traveling all over the place. Do you mind? We trust our wives, sir. We trust them implicitly. I say, well, you have great wives, let me tell you, but they've traveled, I think it's like 228, something like that. But it is beautiful to have you here. We love to have you here. Always perfectly coiffed. They're always perfectly coiffed, right? They're beautiful. They're great women, and we appreciate their being here. We appreciate you guys being here. You were here in Butler. They were there in Butler. I remember they were standing there in the front row Joes. You know what? They get here like 3 days early. They wait around for 3 days, 4 days. They probably got to know some of my guys by now. I would think they don't have to be quite so anxious. They're going to be, but they've done a great job. And then we have Mr. Wall, Irving Wall. Would you please stand up, Irving Wall? He is a great guy, and he was there for Butler too, wasn't he? He was there. I saw him there, but he's been to many shows. How many shows have you been to? He's lost track. I agree, but I appreciate it. We appreciate it. The whole place appreciates it. Ultimately, they're patriots. It's not about me. These are incredible patriots. These ladies are incredible patriots. So I just want to thank you. Incredible. But to show you how bad the fake news is, some of the Gold Star families, you probably read this over the last couple of days, and, you know, a lot of people say, sir, don't hit down on them, the fake news. Don't hit down, sir, don't even mention it. I said, should I mention it? Don't hit down. Well, but it became sort of a story, so I always like to mention it, because if you don't mention it, our supporters don't really know what to believe, and they sort of believe this stuff. So the Gold Star families and incredible people, and I got to know them because 13 families who were, as you know, lost a loved one in Afghanistan so needlessly because we have an incompetent president and vice president, grossly incompetent, and we had Milley and these incompetent generals that should have been fired immediately. Not one person was fired over Afghanistan. And by the way, Russia saw that, they went into Ukraine because they said, I had no idea that the United States was so stupid. So, and you know, when I was running that, I spoke to the leader of the Taliban. They run the whole deal. And I said, Abdul, don't even think. Don't do it, Abdul. Don't do it. Because they were killing our people. And they were really killing them previous to me, Obama. They were killing them in the Obama administration and with Biden. But how did he do in the debate? A friend of mine said, sir, what did you do? I said, how good was I tonight? Sir, you probably got him thrown out. Now you're going to have to run against somebody new. I said, I don't care. I have to do what I have to do. We have to do what we have to do. Right? And I look forward to the debate with her. But what happened, so with Afghanistan, you know, I do the weave. You know what the weave is? I'll talk about like 9 different things, and they all come back brilliantly together. And it's like, and friends of mine that are like English professors, they say, it's the most brilliant thing I've ever seen. But the fake news, you know what they say? He rambled. That's not rambling. When you have, what you do is you get off a subject to.
Your future is at your fingertips. Take advantage of the flexibility and diversity of futures trading.
Another one should change.
I'll talk about like 9 different things, and they all come back brilliantly together. And it's like, and friends of mine that are like English professors, they say, it's the most brilliant thing I've ever seen. But the fake news, you know what they say? He rambled. That's not rambling. When you have, what you do is you get off a subject to mention another little tidbit, then you get back onto the subject.
This is how to get in shape fast. This is your body. These balloons represent your internal.
And you go through this and you do it for 2 hours and you don't even mispronounce one word. And they say he had 100,000 people. You know, New Jersey, we had 107,000 people. They never like to report it, so I say it. But in Wildwood, New Jersey, they announced 107,000 people. And then they say, well, look at this. I mean, if you gave me a big arena, we would have said 45,000 people or something. But it is rather brilliant. But they say, yes, he rambled, but in Afghanistan. So what happens is you take the wonderful families and they come in, and we're in Washington. They said, would it be possible, sir, would it be at all possible for you to come, because we're celebrating our child's life. The child was buried because of Joe Biden and Comrade Harris. Would it be at all possible, sir, for you to be there? And I said, yeah, it's going to be real tough. I was really like far away. And sometimes it's tough. But I said, you know what, we have to do it. And I got my team and I said, let's go. We're going to Arlington Cemetery. I said, we're going to Arlington. Because again, I got to know these people. Because honestly, they would send me death certificates of their child. They said, sir, would you sign it? Please sign it. We refuse to accept his name on this death certificate. They said he killed our child, and honestly, the incompetence killed their children. The incompetence, gross. And by the way, they lost almost 500 people that day, including the other side. They left Americans behind. They're still there. Nobody knows even what happened to them. Think of this. They left $85 billion worth of brand new military equipment that I bought because I rebuilt the entire military. $85 billion worth of equipment behind. They left everything and they moved the military first. Instead of last, you say, you stupid people, you take the military out last. For 18 months, and a lot of you know this, for 18 months, not one American, after I spoke to Abdul, the leader of the Taliban, not one person was shot. We didn't lose one person for 18 months. In fact, Joe Biden got up on television one day and he said, for 18 months,